Now, let's start with the general introduction or information of carbohydrates. You can see some reaction which I have given over here. So this reaction includes a water molecule. Here a small letter n is mentioned. This small letter n is nothing but number of water molecules present plus energy. Along with what does it gives rise to? It gives rise to some compound which is made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Now here also you can see a small letter n is mentioned. This n is again nothing but a number of carbon units, number of hydrogen units, number of oxygen units. That means this CnH2ON is nothing but a carbohydrate. So this carbohydrate can be of n number of carbon atoms. That's the reason why we have mentioned over here the small letter n. That is number of molecules of carbon, number of molecules of hydrogen, number of molecules of oxygen, plus with the release of oxygen. Now, the next is this carbohydrates can also be called as carbohydrates. Now, what do you mean by carbohydrates? Carbohydrates has got two terms. One is carbon and other one is hydrate. Carbon, which is coming, which has one H2O hydrates with it. That is, which is mentioned as CnH2ON, carbon H2O hydrate. Hence, the name goes as carbohydrate. Now, this carbohydrates, they are the major source of metabolic energy for both plants as well as for animals. Animals, because it depend on the plants, for those animals which depends on the plants for as their food. Besides all this, carbohydrates, they can be sugars, they can be starch. Now, the normal sugar that is there in our kitchen, that is a carbohydrate. So that is the basic sugar, that is a carbohydrate. Starch, it can be potato starch, it can even be the rice water, which is also rich in starch. So this all have got some or the other nutritional value in our day-to-day life. Along with all these energy-rich sources of carbohydrates, there are some carbohydrates like cellulose, which is a structural material in plants. These carbohydrates can also be used as an energy transport compound ATP. They are also a part of DNA as well as RNA. Now the carbohydrates, the way I said, is also has got one more name, carbohydrates. There is one more name for carbohydrate, which is nothing but saccharide. Or you can simply, it can be called as the small sugars. Okay, now let's go. Now, what is the simple sugar? This simple sugar or the carbohydrates or the saccharide, they are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. And why I'm calling it as a carbohydrate? Reason is it is a water compound of carbon. It's a water compound of carbon. That's the reason why it's carbohydrate. Now, what is the simple basic formula of carbohydrates? CnH2ON. Here N I already explained. It is number of the carbon units, or N over here is number of the H2O units. Now this particular sugar or carbohydrate is now described as polyhydroxy aldehydes and ketones. Now let's split this term. Poly means many, hydroxy means OH, aldehyde means CHO group, ketones means C double bond O group. As you can see over here, can you see CHO group over here? This is nothing but the aldehyde group. Can you see C double bond O group over here? This is nothing but the ketonic group. So aldehyde group, ketonic group. These also represent the types of sugars, and they are the polyhydroxy. That is, are made up of large number of OH group. You can see over here there is one OH group over here, there is second OH group over here, there is one OH group over here, second OH group over here. These are simple carbohydrates which is shown in front of you. One is glyceraldehyde, other one is dihydroxyacetone. So these are types of carbohydrates. But other than this, there are other complex carbohydrates which are made up of large number of OH group or hydroxyl group. That's the reason why the carbohydrates are also called as polyhydroxyaldehydes and ketones. And these are nothing but the simplest carbohydrates, which are glyceraldehyde and dihydroxyacetone. Let's go for the what are the different methods of classification? There are some different methods. The first method is the classification is based on whether the carbohydrate can be broken down into smaller units, simpler units. Based on that, the first classification is monosaccharide. Monosaccharide, in case mono means single, saccharide means these are the simple sugars. So monosaccharides are the one which cannot be broken down into simpler units after undergoing hydrolysis. So this monosaccharide, we can call it as simple sugar because it cannot be broken down into its smaller unit. Monosaccharide itself is a smaller unit. Smaller than monosaccharide, there are no such molecules. So these are the one which cannot be broken down into smaller units by hydrolysis. Now what is disaccharide? Di means two, saccharide means simple sugar. So this disaccharide, they can undergo hydrolysis giving rise to two monosaccharides. What is oligosaccharide? Oligosaccharide are the one which can be hydrolyzed more than 3 to 9 you can call, or 3 to 10, 3 to 9 or 3 to 10 molecules of monosaccharide. And what is polysaccharide now? Poly means many. If the monosaccharide units after hydrolysis is more than 10, it's called as polysaccharide. So depending upon the units which are broken down, or units which is obtained after hydrolysis, is nothing but the classification based on the carbohydrate classified based on the broken units of the smaller units of the monosaccharide. Fine. So this is about the first classification. Yeah, how much molecules are obtained after hydrolysis? Does a particular sugar is undergoing hydrolysis? If it is not undergoing hydrolysis, that means it is a simpler sugar, that is the monosaccharide. And if the sugar is giving rise to the breaking down sugar after hydrolysis, if it is giving rise to two monosaccharide, it is disaccharide. And more than 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up to 9, it is oligosaccharide. And more than 10, it is polysaccharide. What is this? Now there are some classification of this, what do you call? There are some simple number of carbon atoms, these are classified. How many carbon atoms are there in this simple sugar, that is a monosaccharide. Now how many carbon atoms? If there are 3 carbon atoms, it is called as triose. Tri means 3. If there are 4 carbon atoms, it is classified as tetrose. Tetra means 4. And if there are 5 carbon atoms, it is classified as pentose. Penta means 5. And if there are 6 carbon atom, then it has been classified as hexose. That means 6 carbon atom. That means how many carbon atoms is present in simple sugar. Even based on that, monosaccharides are classified. Fine. Now what is next? Next is this monosaccharide can also be, the simple sugar can also be classified on the basis of which carbonyl group is present. Carbonyl group, already I said that they can be aldehyde or they can be ketonic group. Now the first classification is aldose. Why it is called as aldose? Because if this is a monosaccharide, this monosaccharide is showing presence of this aldehyde group. If you can see, this is a CH double bond O. This is an aldehyde group. So this presence of this aldehyde group gives it the name aldose. Okay. Now second, in this, if you can see, there is a ketose group, that is ketonic group. C double bond O is a ketonic group. Now presence of this ketonic group it gives rise to the a type which is called as ketose. That means presence of which carbonyl group is present in carbohydrate. Based on that, the classification is done. First one is aldose because it shows presence of aldehyde. Second one is ketose because it shows presence of this ketonic group. Now, what is next? Next is, you can see here, we are combining the carbonyl classification and the number classification together. That is aldotriose. Now, which type of carbonyl group it is? Aldo. So, it is aldo. Triose means 3 carbon atom. Here it is aldo. Aldo means aldose. Hexose means 6 carbon atom. Here it is ketohexose. Ketose means a ketonic group and 6 carbon atoms. So what has been done over here? We are combining the carbonyl group. Carbonyl group means this aldo and the keto group with the number of the carbon atoms present. So here in hexose 6 carbon is present, in triose 3 carbon is present. Like this, depending on that, the classification is done. In this, if you can see, we are showing you the different monosaccharides. The monosaccharides which are made up of 3 to 7 carbon atoms, which I have already discussed with you, like triose are there, hexose are there, okay, pentose are there. So those type of monosaccharides unit we are going to discuss. Amongst those are glucose. Now glucose is an hexose sugar. Hexose means it has got 6 carbon atoms, and these are the building block of the complex carbohydrate. Building block means what? The one which is made up of glucose. The carbohydrate which is made up of glucose, and that is nothing but a building block. Glucose is a building block of those carbohydrates. Okay, now what is next? These are the components. This glucose is a component of disaccharide. That is, sucrose is a disaccharide which is made up of glucose. Maltose is a disaccharide which is made up of glucose. Lactose is a disaccharide which is also made up of glucose. Now, this glucose is also the building block of polysaccharides such as starch, cellulose, glycogen. Starch is seen in plant, cellulose is seen in the plant cell wall, in the paper, and glycogen is the animal reserve food material. So all these are made up of glucose, but the only difference is these all are polysaccharide. That is, they are made up of large number of monosaccharides. Fine. Now this is a small example of, this is nothing but a glucose molecule. You can see over here is a hexose sugar. It has got 6 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is 6 carbon. And you can even see they are the polyhydroxy, that is, they are made up of large number of OH group. Now this is a straight chain compound. This can be written in a cyclic way. So this they have shown in cyclic way. Okay. So this is nothing but an example of glucose. Glucose is a hexose made up of 6 carbon atoms. So again, we're talking about monosaccharide only, but we're taking a second example, which is galactose. This galactose is a disaccharide. This is found in, means this galactose, this is present in lactose. It's a monosaccharide, not a disaccharide, it's a monosaccharide, but this is present is a component of this disaccharide, which is lactose, which is a milk sugar, we can call it. Okay, now this galactose, they are present in the cellular membrane of the brain, and it is a nervous system. Galactose is the C4 epimer of glucose. C4 epimer, what do you mean by epimer now? Epimer is nothing but, even though the molecular formula is same, the hydroxyl OH group arrangement of the two molecules like galactose and glucose is different. There is a configuration pattern with respect to OH group at the fourth carbon atom is different. Which is the fourth carbon atom? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth carbon atom. This is a galactose we are showing to you. Now in this case, then glucose, this OH group is over here, and in galactose, the OH group is on the left hand side. That means there is change in the configuration, and the change in configuration, the same molecular formula, means they are epimer of each other. Galactose and glucose, they are the epimer of each other. That is the meaning of the word epimer. Now the next monosaccharide is fructose. Now this fructose is one of the sweetest of all the carbohydrates, and it is the component or building block of sucrose. That is, sucrose is made up of this fructose, and it is a keto sugar. Keto sugar means what? Till now we had seen the aldo sugar. Now this is a keto sugar in which ketonic group is a functional unit, or the carbonyl group of the sugar molecule. Okay. Let's see about disaccharide. Now, as already mentioned, disaccharide is nothing but made up of two monosaccharide units. First example of disaccharide is maltose. Now, this is a disaccharide. So, how is this disaccharide formed? It is formed by what? Two glucose units. You can see here two D. D is the configuration, configuration of the arrangement of the molecules. D glucose, L glucose. Those type of different types of glucose molecules are there, depending on rotational, what do you call, the mirror images. Okay, now in this case, this maltose is made up of two glucose units, and as two glucose units, they should be joined with each other. So what is the one which joins them? That is nothing but glycosidic bond. So this glycosidic bond is present between two glucose unit, and that bond is alpha 1,4 linkage. Now where is this maltose present? They're present in cereals, candies, and even and the brewing of the beverages. Beverages which are obtained from different sources. That sources shows presence of this maltose. Now here, this is the structure of maltose we can show. This is one glucose unit, this is the second glucose unit. This two glucose unit, they are joined by a glycosidic bond. This is one carbon atom, this other carbon atom of the two glucose unit. They are linked by oxygen atom is present in between the two, which is glycosidic linkage. Alpha 1,4, this is the first carbon atom, this is the fourth carbon atom of the two glucose molecule respectively. Okay. Now what is next? The second disaccharide. Now this disaccharide, which is lactose, is a milk sugar. As already explained, lactose is nothing but a milk sugar. It's found in milk and the milk products like cheese, curd, all these are milk products. Buttermilk, all these are different milk, butter, all these are different milk products. So this milk product shows presence of the carbohydrate lactose. This lactose is made up of two, what do you call, monosaccharides. One is galactose, other one is glucose. One is galactose, other one is glucose. They are linked by beta 1,4 linkage. Now, what is this beta 1,4 linkage? This beta 1,4 linkage is nothing but the glycosidic bond between galactose and glucose molecule, which gives rise to a disaccharide which is called as lactose. Now, what is beta? Beta is a different carbon atoms present in one single molecule. That is alpha, beta, gamma, delta. These are different carbon atoms. Now, what is the alpha? That's the first carbon atom which is linked directly to the functional group. That's the alpha. Then it goes beta, then delta, then gamma, delta, like that. Now, what is 1,4? 1,4 is the one carbon atom of one molecule is linked with the fourth carbon atom of the other molecule. That is beta 1,4 linkage in between the two monosaccharide. So this two monosaccharide gives rise to disaccharide. Next is the second and next example of disaccharide is sucrose. Sucrose is a normal table sugar, which is the product of what? Sugar cane and sugar beets. Now this sucrose is made up of two monosaccharides. One is glucose and the other one is fructose. They are linked by both anomeric carbons. They are linked by this glycosidic bond. This is one is glucose, other one is fructose. It is fructose, the ketose sugar. You can see here double bond is a ketose sugar over here. What is this? This is a glucose, which is the aldose sugar. Okay. How is this disaccharide formed? Disaccharide is formed by a combination of two monosaccharide. Already I've explained it to you. But what is the reaction between them? The reaction between when there's a combination of two monosaccharide, the reaction is nothing but condensation. What is condensation? There is a release of water molecule. You can see here glucose and glucose, which are the two monosaccharides, combining together, giving rise to maltose. What is maltose? It's a disaccharide. And along with maltose, what are you getting? Water. In the second example, one glucose, which is again monosaccharide, fructose again monosaccharide, combining together, giving rise to a disaccharide, which is sucrose, but with the release of water, again condensation. Again over here, glucose and galactose, it's a monosaccharide, combining, giving rise to lactose, with the release of water, again condensation. That means whatever you can see over here on the right hand side, product side, is nothing but disaccharides, and these are nothing but monosaccharides combining to give rise to this disaccharide. This is a condensation process in which water is released. What is that? Polysaccharides. These polysaccharides are made of more than 10 monosaccharide units. One example is cellulose. This cellulose is nothing but the structural material which is present in the plant cell. They consist of many glucose units. That's the reason why it is a polysaccharide. How are these glucose units? They joined with each other. They are joined with beta 1,4 linkages. Again, I will explain. Beta 1,4 means the 1.4 carbon atoms of the different sugar units, the glucose units. They are linked by this beta 1,4 glycosidic bond. Fine. Next is starch. One of the polysaccharides present in the plants such as rice, wheat, potatoes, grains, and cereals. These are the storage form of the glucose. That means starch is made up of monosaccharide glucose. Starch is a polysaccharide Glucose is a monosaccharide. Now, when I'm saying that glucose is a monosaccharide, many of these glucose are joining with each other by means of alpha 1,4 linkages, and that you get starch with the polysaccharide. Maltose is a disaccharide starting material. Okay, because maltose is also formed by glucose. Okay, it's a disaccharide. Again, it's made up of glucose only. Next, so this is then what do you say? A small chain of different glucose molecules shown over here. Okay. Now the next one is glycogen. What is glycogen? Again, this glycogen is a polysaccharide. But what is the difference between glycogen and starch? This is the animal starch. And the starch is that starch which you have seen before as a plant starch. Now, this animal source is a food material. Glycogen is also made up of glucose. But where is it present in our body? It is present in liver. It is present in the muscle. It contains many branched glucose units. There is one more difference. It's a branched glucose unit and a joint. Since the branched unit, they have got two linkages. One linkage is alpha 1,4 linkage, another linkage is alpha 1,6 linkage. But do understand both are glycosidic bond. Okay. The difference is they are branched units, so they have got two linkages. One is alpha 1,4 linkage, other one is alpha 1,6 linkages. For example, this is a branching taking place. No, so this is 1,4 linkages. If the branch and whatever linkage is present over here, these are the alpha 1,4 linkages. Okay. Now what is next? Dextrin. Dextrin is also the type of polysaccharide, which is a mixture of branched and unbranched soluble polysaccharide. How are the dextrins present? Formed? They are formed by partial hydrolysis of the starch by acids or amylase. Amylase is an enzyme which acts on the starch. There are amylase enzyme which is present in our body. For example, salivary amylase is there, pancreatic amylase is there. So those amylase will act on the starch. And the partial hydrolysis of this starch, partial means half hydrolysis, partly, half, not completely. So that partially hydrolysis of starch gives rise to dextrin, which is also a polysaccharide. Next is, what are the different functions of carbohydrates? One function of carbohydrate is it's a rich is energy source in the form of glucose. Second, it is used by the brain in the form of carbohydrates for energy. It helps in the regulation of sugar level. That is, it helps in the hypoglycemic condition. Hypo meaning is low. Glycemic condition means the glycemic value. That's the glucose amount. During the low sugar level, this particular glucose helps in maintaining the sugar level in the blood. The next function is it is a rich nutrients for bacteria because bacteria they survive on the sugar molecules. So they are the nutrients for bacteria. Next is these are dietary fibers helps to keep the bowel functioning properly. Cellulose is the one which is nothing but what you call this polysaccharide. This cellulose cannot be digested by a body because enzyme cellulase is not present in the body. But cellulose is a dietary fiber which helps in digestion. At the same time, this fiber, which is cellulose, present in the body by some what is a plant source, this cellulose they helps in lowering the cholesterol level as well as it regulates the blood. Next, what do you call the function of carbohydrates are protein sparing function. At the same time, they are present in the cell wall of many plants. Next, they are the glycoproteins and lipoproteins, which maintains the shape of the body. Means these are the structural proteins. You can call it as structural proteins. Means they provide shape to the particular cell, and that structural proteins are nothing but glycoproteins and lipoproteins present in the cell membrane of the cell.